What's up, everybody? So let's talk about tobacco. Its health benefits. Maybe we'll get into the shamanic use of it. Maybe not, and maybe even get into tonic alcohol. What's the use? They can't possibly be healthy. Everyone said, no, they're not healthy. That's very far from reality, the truth. What is health? The highest level. It's not believing anything is unhealthy. It's not having a problem with anything. It's one of the teachings from Neville Goddard, who talks about meeting his Christian mystic teacher, and Abdullah, and who he was, and how he explained to him, why can Abdullah sit here and drink 2 big glasses of scotch and eat ice cream? And he's healthy and he gets everything he wants out of life. Why? Because he doesn't differentiate himself from it. He sees it as his own, because in the beginning everything was God, and here we are, all God creations. So why should I have a problem with anything at all that I consume? If I go to certain cultures, if they were eating a giant pig roast, what would I do? Why wouldn't I consume that? Why should I have a problem with that? Oh, it's killing the animal. We can find a fault in anything if we'd like to. And we could find the glory in anything if we'd like to as well. But where we are to find things that actually do on this 3-dimensional level, because I don't want to make everything so esoteric and hard to access. What does this do? Well, this is obviously much different than a cigarette. I'm not smoking a pack of them. They're not full of chemicals. What does it do when I ingest it? It goes through, it gets into my bloodstream through my tongue and through, and it slows me down. This is what's happening. It slows the brain down. That you wouldn't want to smoke this fast. It would put you into the spins. It would upset you. But if you don't, what it does is, if you ingest it properly, it's like you wouldn't eat your meal too fast. There's all sorts of things you wouldn't do too fast. There's something that's meant to slow down. Look at all the great philosophers. Who can we look at? Look at Carl Jung. He always smoking on his pipe. Well, he was smoking tobacco when it wasn't adulterated. We can look at many different cultures that use this. And again, it's not to suggest just like what about wine? What about alcohol? What was the use? Well, in vegetarian cultures, it was because it was producing B vitamins, helping them to digest food. That's the main purpose. And what does it do? You ever been around somebody with a couple drinks in them? They tend to be happier people. Why? It's loosening up blood. It's getting rid of. It's giving them spirit. Most people have a lack of spirit. Some people have plenty enough, and maybe they don't need any more. Some people enjoy it. It's like that. What is it to your life? Does it add to your experience? Are you enjoying it? Would I enjoy smoking 10 cigars a day? No. That'd be disgusting. Once in a while. I don't know. Once a month? Maybe every day for a week? I don't know. Depends. Alcohol? I like alcohol. Yeah. I like pizza, but how often do I eat it? I don't have a problem with it. Is it gonna ruin my digestion in my system? It might be more to digest than I would like to. Just like anything, any piece of information that we absorb, put into our system through our eyes. You wouldn't want to watch car crashes every day, but maybe seeing one would. That's a piece of information. What might that do? You go to school and you say, don't text on your phone, because here's what will happen if you there's a source of, oh man, maybe I shouldn't text on my phone because that might happen. See, it's those kind of things. So what can we obtain health out of? What kind of energy, spirits. That's all it is. It's we all are, and everything around us has some type of spirit in it. A spirit in the tobacco, spirit in the food, spirit in the friendships, the spirits in anything that's made. And this is why my little friend over here, we'll name him soon. Maybe one day you guys can help me name him. I imbued that with spirit. The person that initially built that put energy of their hand and into that spirit, into that piece of material. It becomes a token, it becomes an icon, it becomes something that holds space and energy. And when we observe things, rather than observing something from a physical realm, we observe it from a spiritual realm or spirit realm, or the energy in something. We can see that just about anything we can take something from. A non-living object. Non-living. What piece of artwork isn't living, but the person that created it was living. You could cut your finger off, put it on the ground, and look at it and be like, is that living? And it would decay one day, but it was living. What was in it? Well, that was spirit, and came from, this goes back to what is source code. What are you? What is, you as the essential creative force and Godhead, you created this. So what would you not create? What wouldn't you create? We can't have anything bad. Well, the only thing that's bad is how we use things. The tools. The energy that we have. And whatever that is, whatever it is that we call bad is what we view as bad. Oh, that's bad. That's no good. That movie's rated R. That's, don't do that. No, certainly. Not to go too far with this. Because it's getting back to health and quality. Observing health and ingesting health and being part of things that make something healthier is all about participating with spirit the correct way. So what are these sources of health? It's completely different for everyone. We can say, getting back to self is health. So this gets into urine therapy once again. This gets into don't consume so much, because the more you consume, the more you have to digest. To digest is to split something. To jest is to humor. That's funny, a jester. To humor. To digest is to split the humor. Split the humors. Wet, dry, hot, and cold. Split those up. Those are the 4 elements, the 4 seasons, the 4 suits in a deck, those forces, the 4 fingers. Yeah. So, what are the essential sources of health? The simple things, usually. The more complex we make it, it doesn't make it unhealthy, it just makes it more difficult to find the health in it. This right here, simple. It's tobacco leaf. Roll it up. Light it on fire. Commune with the fire god. Ingest it and watch the smoke rise. Understand its connection to spirit and mysticism and the mist. And things change. And you use it for the qualities that it has. You interact with it. And so we find the balance and harmony within whatever elements it is that we choose to use. So, yeah. Here's a little trick I used to find a little more balance in things, as I would just switch hands. What do we do with our entire life? We write with our right hand. We find ourselves always finding one half of something, more masculine nature, more less creative, more math-oriented, not so feminine. Well, there's ways to balance that out, and it's to take some of the weight off of one side, put it on the other. So just change hands. It changes. It's right now changing. I don't use my left hand as much, so I have to think about the way that I may do that. It becomes a a task. It becomes a learning process. What do we do all the time? Most of us have a beverage around us. Doesn't matter what it is. Change the hand you use. Balance yourself out. I used to drink. I used to drink more often, and what I learned is by switching hands, I would slow down how much I was drinking. I would take more heat in it. I would think about it, and it'd be like, oh, this is something to observe. And just because it was interesting to me that, where is it? Here. Does it say mason? Mason jar? What else they call these jars? They call them mason jars, and they call them, yeah, well, I'll do this another time, but there's something about why they're called mason jars and masonry and hermetics and hermeticism, and to put something into a hermetic seal and what mason jars do. And even if you look at this enclosed system of this earth that we live on, if you really want to get deep into this one, we'll do this another time, talking about everybody here on this planet is a mason to some degree. I mean, hey, did you go through school? Did you get your mortar and pestle on your head? Looks like you're a 12th degree mason. Oh no. We'll talk soon, y'all. Cheers.